Everybody, my name's Lizzie. If you want my full name, it's Dr. Elizabeth Lloyd-Parkes from the University of South Wales. I'm going to tell you about an autoethnographic account of a shopping experience where the researcher's evaluation of fashion brands and specific items is affected significantly by the reaction of other shoppers from similar or diverse socioeconomic backgrounds to brands or products. This incorporates retold stories, and I hope it gives insight into how retail outlets might manage their customers in a strategic manner and give insight into the personal shopping experience. So here's the story. That dress, it's gorgeous. It's black lace, long sleeved, knee length, and has a scalloped neck and hemline. It's perfect. It's exactly what I need for a choir performance next week. I sing with a semi-professional ladies' choir, and although we don't have a uniform or standardised costume, we do all wear black knee-length cocktail dresses. I quite like the same but different ethos that goes on, and the way that everyone tries to look their best, accessorising with sparkly jewellery. This makes for a professional and stylish image, at least that's what our audiences tell us. I walk towards the dress, and as I do, I find another customer cutting across my path, heading for the same dress. She picks it up, holds it up against her. "What do you think, Ray?" she says to her husband. "Will this be okay? Is it too young a style, or is it okay?" I stop in my tracks and watch the scene unfolding in front of me. She walks across the aisle towards a full-length mirror, stands on tiptoe, turns from side to side to get a feel of how the dress will look on her. Ray gives his approval, and she disappears into the changing room, emerging a few minutes later wearing the dress with pink ankle socks and trainers. It's not a good look. In fact, it's such a bad look that it completely puts me off the dress. Ray, by this time, has sunk into a worn leather armchair with a weary look upon his face. "It looks great, Sylv," he says, forcing a smile on his face. "Yes," says Sylv, "it'll go nicely with those dune shoes I have, and with my hair up." It's a bit pricey, mind, but it's worth it. This brand isn't cheap. She lifts her hair off her neck and pouts into the mirror, turning this way and that, trying to see the back of the dress. "Sold," she proclaims victoriously. I turn away and start to look for another dress. I notice as I walk away that Ray seems somewhat relieved as he extricates himself awkwardly from the bowels of the armchair. I've been put off the dress by someone else, someone I don't even know. How odd is that? She's a completely different person to me, a different size, a different shape and personality. Is it that I consider myself to be so different to Sylv that I don't want to buy the same dress that she thinks looks gorgeous on her? Another day, another shopping expedition. This time I'm just wandering, looking for nothing in particular because I feel like treating myself. Indulgence. I know I don't need anything specific, but I'm going to buy something because I can. I stroll between the carousels looking for inspiration. I see a woman about my age shopping with someone who could be her mother. She's holding a navy blue and cream blouse and a cream skirt. They go together nicely. I start looking to see where the items are in the retail display and find that they're in completely different sections. I cross paths with the two women again and hear the mother say, "You always did have a good eye for putting outfits together." I agree. She's dressed simply but elegantly and has accessorised her outfit with simple jewellery. I pick up the blouse and skirt and head to the changing room, knowing that if these items fit, I certainly will buy them. And it's not just me who's influenced in this way. A chat with good friends was punctuated with a conversation about the exact phenomenon at my instigation. It seems that we all had a story to tell about being influenced in the process of shopping for clothes in stores. Wendy had been shopping for a coat in a well-known department store. The thing is, if I see someone chavvy going for the same thing, even if they just look at it, it really puts me off. I'm not averse to a bit of leopard print, but when you see someone dressed from head to toe in it and anyone wearing gold shoes, it kind of puts you off buying the item you fancied, she said. I started wondering if I had any gold shoes or leopard print clothes. Wendy's experiences of being influenced were somewhat negative. Gina, on the other hand, went to speak of a more balanced influence. She spoke of liking an item, but on hearing others say it was ugly or that they disliked it, she would change her opinion, even if the other shoppers were unknown to her. I considered that this may well be a sign that Gina needs affirmation of choices and is afraid of being judged. She also commented that when shopping with her friends, Gina would be more likely to buy things if they told her the item would look cute on her, or when they suggested that they should all buy matching items. Consumer tribes is a concept that springs to mind here. I confess I don't particularly like shopping with friends for that very reason. I'm quite confident in my choices and would far rather shop uninfluenced alone. But am I really uninfluenced if people like Sylv and the woman who puts things together nicely clearly have an impact on my choices? Sally told me about a very special shopping trip to buy a wedding dress. She had gone into a shop and saw a bride-to-be trying on a wedding gown which looked beautiful. The customer was standing on a podium, modelling the dress to oohs and ahs from family, friends and the sales assistant. The bride-to-be chose not to buy the dress and left the shop, but Sally had been entranced with the dress and told us, "I think seeing it on another person really made a difference. She looked beautiful." Sally would have bought the dress even if the model had also bought it. It would have made no difference to her that someone else had the same wedding gown, which I found rather strange, but I suppose not everybody seeks uniqueness when shopping. Tanya is a health-conscious athlete and buys a lot of kit for triathlons and other such activities. She told me of an occasion when she went into a Quicksilver store and whilst searching through the racks of hoodies, noticed some teenagers staring at her as if she shouldn't have been there. She commented, "It made me feel quite uncomfortable, even though I wasn't looking at anything inappropriate like bikinis. So I left without buying anything, and I haven't been back since." Reflecting on this conversation leaves me wondering why on earth Tanya would consider a bikini to be inappropriate. She's a lithe 40-something. But even if she were something different, people should be able to buy and wear whatever they want without fear of judgment. Tanya went on to talk about a positive influence during a shopping experience, though, where she picked up a dress from a rail and a stranger, unsolicited, told her that it would look great on her. She didn't have to say anything, said Tanya, so she must have meant it, and so she bought the dress without a second thought. Online shopping choices can be heavily swayed by influencers, and such individuals are paid handsomely for their endorsements and recommendations. There is no doubt that it is a lucrative business for the sponsoring company and the endorser, but it seems to me that retail outlets are missing a trick by not having plants in the environment. A pushy and insincere salesperson will never have the influence of someone you encounter unexpectedly and naturally. Marketers should consider the impact that the passive and unintentional role of other customers may have on the potential consumer's perception and how this can work both for and against the product and the brand. This study perhaps offers insight into how retail outlets may find it difficult to manage their customers in a strategic manner and offers insight into the personal shopping experience and the actual and perceived encouragement and discouragement that can impact upon the consumer's decision-making process. Research in this area of other customers impacting on the consumer is mostly confined to service delivery. For example, how other customers can have an impact on how you enjoy a meal in a restaurant. In retail provision, it's rare. Customers can be affected by others without any personal interaction, and indeed a low number of individuals claim to have interacted with other customers during purchasing activities. This notwithstanding, there is evidence that just over half the number of visitors to tourist attractions were impacted by other customers. It's becoming increasingly usual for fashion purchases to be made online, but still, there is no substitute for browsing amongst racks of clothing arranged by brand, style, colour and occasion. Social conformity theory, psychological reactance theory may both play a part in our decision-making, where we see other shoppers homing in on a dress that we are considering. Lots for marketers within the retail environment to consider.